Hello everyone, my name is Khari Joyner, and I am a professional cellist and chamber musician, orchestral musician, teacher in the New York City tri-state area where I'm based. And I'd like to give a special thanks to Tony Small and the Boys and Girls Club of the Greater Washington area. So for me, there are many reasons why I picked this instrument. As you see, it's very large, but there's so many wonderful qualities about the cello. Oftentimes you'll hear many people say that it's reflects the human voice, particularly the closest of all the string instruments. And I do find that particularly to be true just because of how natural and how pure the cello sounds. But there's many different types of music that I've explored and played throughout my career. I love many different composers who've written for the cello, both some that were older and of course no longer living, but others that are currently living today and very vibrant in the new music scene. But I love, in particular, I think romantic music from the 19th century and even some very late romantic music that even stretches into the early 20th century. Some of my favorite composers are Brahms, Mahler, Strauss, Dvorak. There's just a huge list of composers from many different areas around the world. But I think a lot of them really do represent the cello and the voice of the cello very well through their music and through their writing. So there's a couple of things that I wanted to give sort of a quick rundown of the cello. Of course, as I said, it's very close to the human voice, and of the string instruments, it does happen to be one of the larger instruments, not quite as large as a double bass, but nonetheless, it does give a full and very rich quality that can have a lot of bass tones and very weighty, almost grounded type of sound when playing sort of in string quartets or orchestras, where a lot of times it rests as the foundation and really does ground the orchestra and the whole ensemble. So in particular, I want to talk about just very specific things. One of which is different bow strokes that we can make, and also just different types of playing that we can make. So I've been doing a lot of practice actually with pieces that are very fast, and then some pieces that are more lyrical and slow. And we have different ways to produce these sounds. If we're playing a piece by Brahms, for example, his cello sonata, his scherzo from the F major cello sonata, there's a lot of different strokes in that piece, but one of them that is very prominent is the use of short staccato strokes that sound like this. So there's a couple of places, like in the very opening, actually, he uses a technique that pretty much covers a lot of the instruments you hear. That kind of stroke is very much present throughout the entire scherzo section of that movement. And then in the trio section, he moves to something more lyrical, more legato, more luscious, and just more expansive altogether. It sounds like this. And you see that kind of continues, and I think that's kind of sort of a quintessential moment of course, in that piece for Brahms, is he loves writing both lyrical but also very weighty pieces. But in particular, with these strokes of the shorter scherzo, you'll notice that I can play very close to what we call the frog, which is basically the heaviest part of the bow and sort of near where we put our fingers at. And this gives me a more raw and more edgy sound like this. As opposed to if I had tried a little bit further out in the bow, I would have more of a... See, there's different ways we can vary our sound and because of that. And similarly with the left hand, you'll notice that I do a lot of vibrato when I play, and I think this is one thing that a lot of string players, it takes a lot of years to really master, and we're always constantly working to improve our vibrato. I like to take slow lyrical passages like the one I just played as well. But even in other pieces, like there's another sonata that I love by Fauré that has a very beautiful slow movement in which we can really think of how the left hand is moving. And you see, it's very different if I were to just play. So this... a much more luscious and warm quality of playing. And these types of things do take many years and many hours of practicing. And I just want to encourage all of you to really, if music is your passion and if music is your dream, really work at it and really practice to make that possible. Because, you'll be surprised how much work you can make and how much progress you can make happen just from taking the time to really kind of hone in on your skills, and in the practice room really focusing on that and trying to really develop your sound and who you are as an artist and a musician. So I want to wish you all the very best, especially during this quarantine. Please take care of yourself and others, and stay very close to one another, especially during these times of this global health crisis. We will get through this, and really remember to spread your love and to spread all the joy through your music making, and may the very best be to you and to all of your family and those that you care deeply about. Thank you.